Good morning, Flosstube. Pam, stitching between the lines. Today is Thursday. I was going to say Tuesday. I don't know why. Thursday, April 22nd, 2021. It's around noonish and it's snowing. It snowed yesterday. Um, we can get snow up until Mother's Day, so it's not really a surprise. We just had an early spring, so I think we were all lulled into thinking the colder parts of winter were over, but we are wrong. Wrong, wrong, wrong. So anyway, I have some flowers that didn't really survive. Grape hyacinth. There's a bunch of bad patches of those out in my yard and they're laying flat. So that's kind of sad. I was looking around for crocuses. I couldn't even find them. So they're gone, done. I think they're just done. And what else? Did I say video number 93? 94. I'm looking at my notes over here. And so, anyway, that's where the video numbers are. I've been really good in keeping my journal. There's lots of things written in there. And so I try to keep track of the video numbers in there and that kind of thing. If there's anything else I need to talk about, which again, I'm looking at notes. I have a lot of notes. I got a lot of stuff. Sit down, take a rest, get a coffee, get your lunch, whatever you need. I'll wait. I'm going to talk about Mania plans. So there are lots of things to show you. And first up, let's see, updates. Correction. I got to give a correction. So I talked last time about my daughter getting engaged and I mentioned her wedding sampler that I'm doing, and I said the wrong designer, which I feel terrible about. Stitch Rovia. I apologize to the Stitch Rovia designer for that goof. I bought it from her Etsy shop. I have favorited her Etsy shop ages ago, and so I was very happy to get to purchase this. I will show no progress. I'm working away on it. So that's underway because we're going to have a wedding this summer. In mid-July, it will be a elopement ceremony, which is the name given. Cooper's in here. Is the name given to this type of thing. It's not a traditional elopement like you think, where you run off and get married. It's a little small ceremony. It will be a destination wedding in the hotel. The wedding event, they call it an elopement ceremony, and there will be 20 guests. That's all. So the closest people to the bride and groom are who will be invited, and it's very exciting. We went wedding dress shopping yesterday and picked out a wedding dress, and she took it home. That's the way this shop works, which I'm just thrilled, because we don't have time to risk ordering a dress and it never showing up. I think if everybody remembers, in the early months of COVID's lockdown, brides were not getting their dresses and weddings are canceled and all the things. In New York State, it's very restricted still. So this type of ceremony and event will fit us perfectly, COVID or no COVID. We're happy. So anyway, plans are moving along, and it makes us all happy. The things that are going on make us happy. My daughter's very no frills, no fuss. I asked her last night if I should plan a bridal shower for her, and she said the only kind of shower she was interested in is the kind where people come to her house and take something away with them. So that's, you're 30, she'll be 30 next week, and her soon-to-be husband is 32 or 33. I don't remember which. 32. I don't know. And they just don't need stuff. They've been out in the world working and living on their own for, ever since college. So they honestly, nobody needs anything. So there you go. It'll be fun. The things that we get to do will be fun. So anyway, back to the business at hand, which is Flosstube. I have worked on, besides the wedding sampler, I, on my last video, showed you where I was on Kingdom of Books, and I have finished. There was some fussy things to do still on these two books, and I finished those. So Kingdom of Books is going to be put away. I had originally hoped in this long stretch, Cooper he's hitting the window. I can hear him over across the room. The birds are real busy. I had hoped to get the green up to the green books on each side done, but there's just so much work in each of those. When I showed it to you last time, again, I'm looking at my notes, I had learned information from viewers, which I'm very thankful and very appreciative of, about this pattern, which makes me love it even more. So let me just, I need to apologize. I'm going to be ducking out of the frame a lot because there's stuff all over the floor. I thought about bringing a chair or a table over here, but I just thought it wasn't going to make any difference. I still would have to reach. So anyway, I learned that the Handwork Maniac is also working on this, and she has had a friend who could translate the titles of the books. I dropped the picture on the floor, and she goes through and explains them all. I am not going to steal her work. I will on my work, but in terms of telling you, I feel like she did some serious work. Handwork Maniacs video number 74, approximately 18 minutes in, she goes through and she talks about her piece, and she talks about how these books are modeled after the canal houses in the Netherlands, which is just like, I had no idea. She shows a picture of the gates into a park, and she feels that that is probably where the gate portion of the picture comes from. So if you have an interest in any of that, go check out her video number 74. And she talks about the book titles translated to English. So I'm very thankful that people shared that with me, because that makes a difference. We were going to consider, my daughter and I were considering like making up titles. Sorry, again, out of the picture, putting my little journal pens back in place. We were considering making up some titles that just look like the kind of books, spines of books like that. So that was cool, very helpful. And then the other thing that I worked on was Prim Village. And again, I don't like the word gotta, but I seem to say it a lot. We've been visiting this for a while, and I'm always asked about my color selections, which I kind of am making up as I go. But in my video number 83, approximately 34 minutes in, I go through and I talk about the colors that I have paired up and how I did that, what I used as my inspiration for the colors. So since we spoke last, I have done these two houses. I'm not real thrilled with this color combination on the when I'm looking at this video. This portion looks darker than this portion. In real life, they almost look identical, and when I was pairing them up, this one was the lighter shade. So I'm hoping the whole overall effect is fine. In the end, I may run a little straight stitch because it looks so similar in real life. I might run a teeny tiny little green straight stitch down there to give the front and the side of the house a little bit of definition. So the colors I used so far on the greens that are kind of close is the darker color is Crescent Colors Weeping Willow, and the lighter color is Gentle Arts Summer Fields, which was a limited edition piece skiing I got when I went to a retreat years ago. And then the red ones that I just did is Crescent Colors Cherry Cobbler and Crescent Colors Tennessee Red Clay. So Red Clay is the lighter one and Cherry Cobbler is the darker one. And I'm doing the little patch quilt block patches as I go when I have the colors in the needle. The next empty block there will be a green. I have used all the pairs of greens I think that I selected, so I need to either duplicate or mix it up a little bit. I haven't determined what I'm going to do. So I managed 2 of those this month. And between these 2 whips, when it comes to Mania, I've done Mania only the last couple years, and I incorporate new starts along with whips to equal the year number that it is. So last year it was 20. I either worked a single day on every whip or a start until I equaled 20, which was I'm not going to say it was a lot. It was fun. I didn't not like doing it. I started a lot of big things. That's what I think it comes down to. When I did the same thing in 2019, I started a lot of medium-sized things. So a lot of my Mania 2019 starts have been finished. When it's a really vast project, I set a goal of some portion of it, like in the Farms of Hawk Run Hollow. For the year, I want to finish 2 blocks, that kind of thing. So they're ongoing. Those are ongoing big projects. This year, Mania 2021, I believe what I will do is select 10 projects out of my whips and work on them for 3 days. I think I would enjoy the fact that they get some progress done. My book shows me that I have 15 whips, but I started the wedding sampler and I started something else, which I'll show you in a minute. I think that's it for whips. I'm looking. I feel like I have a lot of whips, and 15 is kind of a lot, but I was thinking I had new starts above and beyond just these 2 I'm mentioning. So my start is I have a group of stitching friends. We don't really refer to ourselves as anything. I think we're the Friday Flower Gals, which they will understand what that means, how we kind of originated. We've met at retreats or through Flosstube, and we stay in touch. And we decided we did a round robin piece for one of our members. One of the group had started a project and she just didn't like it, and so we did a round robin to finish it for her birthday. And I thought, this is such a great idea. We should each do one of our choosing and send it around in lieu of Christmas gifts, because we do Christmas exchange gifts. And I was just thinking that might be kind of fun to do this, and that would be each a Christmas gift to each other from all of us. So my start is Autumn Harvest Sampler from Kathy Barrick, and honestly, I really want to keep this and do it myself. You guys who are working on this with me, who are going to work on this for me, are so lucky. You're so lucky I picked such a great thing. So I got it started with the called for threads, and it's on a piece of Color and Cotton Joblin 32 count named, the name is hidden, Treasure Map. How's that for a name? Isn't that great? So I got it started. I just wanted to get it placed on the fabric. I'm center challenged always. So I just got it started. I did the fence. I did the one horse because it's the same color as the fence, and he's actually where the center falls is in the horse. I did the border around the quilt, and I did the border around the year. There's enough variety in here. I think that if there are things that people like or don't like to work on, they'll find it in here. So if you like to do just sort of back and forth stitching, then there's that fill-in to do. There's the pumpkins, there's the quilt squares, there's letters, and there's little bits of fun things. I don't think it's going to take anybody very long to make a noticeable difference. There's no obligation to finish it. It can come back to me half done. That's fine. And I just loved all the parts that I worked on, and would love all the other parts that are coming along. So I will get that going in the mail to the person that I will always send to, and so that May can be the first month that we get to work on each other's. So that's cool. That's fun. It's going to be a great piece. And I went to the post office yesterday and I totally forgot to get the mailer. I'm sorry. Trying to put it back together because it's going to be such a mess by the end. A mess of goodness all spread out around me. forgot to get a mailer so that I could bring it home, make sure it fits, and put the address on and that kind of thing. So, back in the bag it goes. So you won't see this again until it makes its way back to me around Christmas time. It's a whip. I'll put it on my whip book. I think really if I'm calling it the round robin, every month I will have somebody's round robin to work on. So there's that. So then with my Mania plans, I want to just, I forgot to bring some whips over here. We'll stop in a minute and I'll go do that and then bring it to show you those. So I don't know if it's been that long since we visited the farms of Hawk Run Hollow, since I did the last block. I think Mania 2020 was to do these two blocks. Mania 2019 was to finish this, where I had a few I had barely started it. And then within the year from Mania 2020 to Mania 2021, I wanted to get 2 blocks done, which I did. So without a specific Mania goal, I'm doing 3 days on this. What I'd like to do in the next week up to May 1st is do the outline of the next block. I feel like the illusion is this one's not a crazy amount of stitching. This one, on the other hand, is an intense one. This one was intense, more so than I thought it would be. So anyway, this will be what I'll be working on in May this year. I have been watching Flosstube for years and know about Mania and that kind of stuff, and have been watching people's Mania plans for ages. And one thing I really never gave a moment's thought to was that people don't all know automatically through osmosis what Mania is. Mania was is still currently a Facebook page, a group, and the original idea of Mania was to start the number of pieces that the year is. So in 2015, I believe when it started, the idea was in May to start 15 new things, and then 2016 and so on and so on. I never participated until 2019 when I decided I would do the whips plus enough starts to equal the year. This year, I just don't want to work my way up. I'll probably end up working my way up to having 21 things going on, but it's okay. I would like to spend more than a single day on my whips because, I don't know, one day doesn't feel all that satisfying. So only getting to choose 10 of them I don't know, whatever. It is what it is. This one I haven't worked on in very long, but last time I showed it, there was much interest in it. I started this one randomly. I coined the term an accidental start. This was an accidental start. I had been working on Let Freedom Ring, and I just needed to do something different, as if this is, like a little tiny different thing. And I started this year in 2021. I got serious about making a dent in it because I had just been fooling myself into thinking I was working on it. And this year I really buckled down and I did this whole part and a bunch of the crock. So 3 days of work will make a difference in this. There's outlining up here I haven't done, and there's a lot of the half stitch background, but I have left only the small portion of the quilt and a little bit of the crock, as you saw. So I'm intending for this one to be included in this May's Mania. We'll see. We'll see. Sometimes when I'm only going to work on it for a day, it just doesn't feel very satisfying. So there's that one. And this was a Mania Start in 2020. Oh, Luca S. The amount I love this is insane. I started it and I dedicated a week or two to it, And this is what I've gotten done, which is really a lot, really. If you think about it. It is this pumpkin and a round, so there's not any of the green one done. And I just lost something on the floor. Excuse me. Oh, it's a piece of the pattern instructions or something. I don't know. It's got lots of languages on this one. So I am very much looking forward to doing a 3-day stint on this guy. Pretty, right? How pretty is that? I'm going to get to the point where I have more than 10 things that I have laid out here and talked about wanting to do in May, but that's okay. Having more is better than not enough, right? That's stored in a big basket. I don't know why. Well, I have one of those thread organizers, and I have like every color thread on a needle already threaded. So that's in there, so it isn't like overpacked. And then in one of these big giant boxes, you know, you get it like Joann's or Michael's, is my Mermaid, which I think I worked on it once since Mania. Was this a Mania Start? I'd have to look it up. I think so. I had one day, because somebody on Instagram had shown theirs, I started it and I put a few stitches in what would be her arm. And that was it. And then Mania? No, I don't know. I don't really remember all the days I worked on it. Insisting on having it be upside down. Oh, dear, dear, dear. This fabric is so lush. So nice to handle. So, there we go. So I made some real progress. You know, I often hear people talk about the hands. The difficulty or dissatisfaction in the hands. Well, the first hand I did, which was this one, I really liked. And then I did this one up here, and I just thought it looked really weird. It's like, I think she's spilling out a bunch of beads and jewels. So that'll kind of make her take up, like hide some of her hand, which is why it probably stitches up looking like she's lost some fingers or something. Hands are hard. So she's so pretty. They're so pretty. 3 days. She needs 3 days. I can hear her calling out. Okay. This was not a Mania Start. I finished whatever Prairie Schooler I was doing last year and started another one because there always has to be a Prairie Schooler. And I've stitched this one already. And my friend stitched this one, and I just got to see it in person, and whew, was it a beauty. I've only done the center. I cannot wait to start on those leaves, which have a shocking amount of stitching in them, right? They always do. Everything's always more stitching than you think. I don't know. Somebody tell me what. I always put my needle in sideways, but then I roll it up, so it needs to be repositioned. No guarantee this will be 3 days on it, just because I don't want to say something has to be sacrificed, but that's the truth. This guy I started on election day. No, inauguration day, excuse me. Always have to have a Santa. We've gone over this before. I went and had the book bound, and they put the cover on upside down, and we're just going on with life. Life is just going to continue. And I started the wrong Santa because it was, I don't know. I have no idea. It was just where the pattern was relative to the picture. I don't know. I'm making stuff up. I don't know what happened. It happened. I think it's the last pat. I gotta find the actual picture. I have no idea. Okay, so I'm trying to do Patriotic Santa, I think is his name. All American Santa. Cute. He's a good looking Santa. But I need to call my other Santa that I started by accident. I just dropped thread, sorry. This is Drunk Santa, because I just flipped the page around and started again. And if you watch Anna of I couldn't remember her name last time either. Oh, sorry. I can't remember. She had a problem with placement on a pattern and did a Santa and then ended up doing the same thing, turning it around. Only her Santa really was like upside down and up in the corner, and she always called him drunk Santa. So there's my Americana Santa. Just barely a few stitches. He really should get 3 days because he really only got one afternoon. We'll see. We'll see how it works out. Excuse me while I pick up the thread I dropped. Okay. And put my Prairie Sampler back in Prairie Schooler. Shoo. Back in because he's pattern is separated from the project bag. Oh, this is a good one. My Love of Sue Hillis projects. This was also a Mania Start, and I worked on it for that one day plus a week. That was the other thing I was trying to do last year with Mania, is I was trying to work a week on a project and then put it away and get out something else, which it worked. I mean, there's things I worked on that I may not have ever gotten a week on. So that's coming along. Not even a mouse. Okay. So I've stitched down to here. I've done the corner with the most leaves and gotten started on the next one. And I think I might have this little one done. That, of course, these little fussy leaves and things that take 3 different colors and berries take the longest. I found once that I got going, though, and the placement was figured out, that things just kind of flowed. I feel my recollection is that there's something in the placement not quite right here, like off by 1 stitch, but that's no big deal. Doing it on a piece of color and cotton that's ever so slightly yellow. I'm not sure I have the name of it right here with me. I'm trying to always keep that information together, but it may well be, oh, I made it all up. I just made that all up, so just ignore it. I thought I was going to start it on a piece of color and cotton that was kind of yellow, and it just didn't look nice. I actually started this one 3 times, all on that same day in Mania, and I ended up on a piece of even weave Lugana 28 count, a Charles Craft, and it's an antique white, and it really was the perfect shade, because as you see, it looks like it's done kind of on a yellow. I don't remember what they called for, but it wasn't anything I had. You know, I get all these fabrics, especially not so much now, got fabrics of the month and whatnot, and you need to use them. I'm not going to keep turning around and buying stuff. It's done on a piece of Weeks Dye Works light khaki, which again, I really get the sense of yellow in there. So I would like that to for sure be a Mania piece, because I think 3 days would put me over the hump so that the rest of the pattern would take less than a week. I could put it in my less than a week bin. Needs less than a week. As you know, that is a bin that's the basket I forgot. It's to bring those patterns over. I also forgot to show you that. So what is in this giant bag is my Polyvon, you guys. I have let my Polyvon following fans down because I haven't worked on this. Well, first of all, I love it so much that I know when I get it out, I'm just going to want to keep working on it. So it's sort of I have no guilt about ignoring this one because I know I'll get back to it. There's just no way it's not going to get finished. So I closed the book. I have the quilt, the blue and white portion of the quilt that hangs down, and the flowers and all the things that are, around it yet to do. This is on a piece of white even weave something. I'm sure I have it somewhere, and I have it upside down, sideways, backwards, all the things. Isn't that great? I love that. I just love that. Summer's a-coming, and I know I want to do a summery summer things, so for sure it'll come out. Whether it's part of the 3-day Mania is yet to be determined. One more whip in there. Might that be not a whip. Not a whip. It almost became a whip. I almost started it on a whim. last summer I kitted it up because I actually bought it with all the things. It's going to be gorgeous. It will be gorgeous because look at all do I even have to tell you how much I love beads? Kitted up and raring to go. Whew. I just bounced my flush colors out of there. 748, 758, 754. Okay. I mean, those colors are just gorgeous. Look at those. That's a potential start. This is what I do. I look at these things and I kit them up and I don't start them. So then they're in project bags. So then when I have the burning desire to start something, they're there. It's ready to go. See, that's how I'm covering myself. A whip I forgot to show you is Tinglys, which is a Lizzie K, and it's 6 patterns that all come with 2. Each pattern has 2 installments if you care to do them all in a big long row, which I am. I had been doing 1 box a month-ish type thing, and I skipped ahead with several months. Oh, this is still my favorite. I still have to show you that one every time up close. I have 3 or 4 more to do, so it could be if I get to them before Mania starts, I might just work as much as I can, and then I don't have to feel like this has to be part of the Mania 3-day allotment, or I don't know. But this is what's out to work on should I finish or set aside the wedding sampler. That has priority for certain. And then, okay, so Mania. Let's go back to what I'm doing for Mania. Other than the 3 days on 10 things, I plan to have a new start. How that'll work in there, I don't know. I'll get sick of something before its 3 days is up and put it aside and start something, or what. I don't know. I thought I knew exactly what I was starting. And then I keep wanting to start this. Don't you love it? Don't you love it? Rural post office in winter, is that what it's called? Rural post office at Christmas. When Pam of Pam and Steph started this, Just Keep Stitching, I fell over dead and had to have it. But of course you can't find it anywhere. It is nowhere. So a very, 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 very sweet viewer, Barbara, random act of kindness, racked it to me because she had it and she felt like if there's somebody who loved it, then they could have it and work on it. So you see, I've been into it. I've messed around with it. So even if it only gets 2 hours or something, I really want to start this. Then I had previously, all the way back when it first came out, had kitted up Kringles. I don't always like to be part of the herd, the crowd, and do everything that everybody else is doing. And I just kind of never felt like I felt like every time I looked on one of the Facebook groups or whatever, somebody was showing, I don't know. I just didn't want to do it. So, but I want to do it. I just didn't want to do it as part of a crowd. That's hanging out in it's kitted up. It is in my cart that I keep next to my chair so that if I have the sudden urge, it is there and ready to go, ready to be picked up in a really cool bag. It's a bag by, uh-oh, no name on it. Not by me. I did not make it. I purchased it. But I don't know where. On Etsy. I don't know whose bag it is. And also, today, as I was gathering my things, I thought, oh yeah, there's that pattern I keep thinking I'd like to start. Madame Lafay. Both my girls are certified to teach French, but they're Spanish teachers. I think I said that right. My youngest daughter is a modern languages major, so French too. Lafay. English us wants to say Lafay, but Madame Lafay, she says. And this one is called The Beach. And I kitted it up, and it is huger than you think. All these fabulous blues. Yum. I gave consideration to this one being my round robin piece, but I actually honestly, oh, you can't really tell the colors in there. That didn't work very well. I honestly thought maybe it was too big. It is on just a piece of Charles Craft Monaco 28 Antique White. And like I said, let me see. It is 188 by 182 stitches. That's good size. So I won't round robin that one. So I believe that is all the projects that are here, but there's a couple in my basket of just needs a week. So I'm going to pause you and I'll be right back. A blink of an eye for you guys, right? I went off, I changed laundry around and some things like that. So magic of video making, blink of an eye. I have my bin of needs less than a week in theory. And the first thing that's in here is a whole package of Mill Hills, because somewhere along the line I said I should always have a Mill Hill going, but I currently have no Mill Hill going. So maybe I'll pull something out. These, I don't know. We'll see. I have some fun ones. I have some ornaments. Aren't those fun? And Christmas ornaments, and that's a cool one. So possibly I will do something out of there. We'll see. I'm not feeling the hankering. I'm not traveling. They're good travel things, projects, because they're just so small. Easy to transport. Everything's in there. This was a start when I, in January, started like 3 things all in a row, and I just worked one day on them. So snowbirds, I might be delusional in thinking this only needs a week because, you know, there's a lot of snowman going on. We'll see. We will see. And it's some sort of very small count, which is not my go-to, right? I think this is 40 count, so it's a bit of a slower go for me. Little bits of thread falling all over. And also in here is what? Oh, this is a good one. Again, from my, I have to start things. I was going to start 5 things. I only started 3, so that was good. Just a random. I need to start some things on a piece of gingham. I forgot the name of the color. I didn't start in the middle because it doesn't need to use the whole thing. Possibly I have this upside down. I believe I started at the top. Again, allegedly needs less than a week. Always the needle's in there the wrong way to roll it up. I don't know why. I don't know. So, excuse me while I reassemble. What's this one called? In the Meadow. I love that. Again, could I be delusional in thinking it's a week? But yeah, the idea is there that they're really not these big long-term projects like I have the other things I showed you. And this is the final one I started in my Start All the Things little Ben there at the New Year is Frosty. Or no. Jolly Happy Soul. Can't read that backwards. Somehow we all want to call it Frosty. So he has also had 1 day of work. Cute. Isn't he cute? He's very cute. Less snow. Maybe he could be a week. There's actually only 4 projects in this bin. We're not counting those Mill Hills because I haven't started anything. And finally, a Mania Start from 2020 is Lakeside Lodge on a piece of 32 count. Picture this, plus mellow, right? Is that what it says? Yep, I spelled it wrong, so I crossed out the W, mellow. This is where I determined I don't like 32 count. Picture this, plus. It's sort of awkward with 1 and too bulky with 2. I worked on this in Mania, and then I think I worked on it for another week, maybe. Doesn't look like in Mania I got some of this done and that was it. So I did, yeah, I bet it was a week, and I had to take out a whole tree, put it back in because I had done something wrong. I gotta look at it. Oh, they are different. I was looking, excuse me. I was looking at them like, what did I do? There's a beehive that hangs off of here. Maybe a week. I don't know, because I'm having a little bit of a wee struggle with the 32 count and the bulkiness. This could end up taking longer than you think. And the border, which I am in love with, look at that zigzag border, is of course taking longer than you imagine. So no rush. I don't feel like I have to rush it. So it's possible with these smaller guys that they'll get just one day, and then that way I can work on more projects than just 10. So I showed you 4 things. This is all subject to change. Don't make any of your plans based on me, because if this guy got 3 days and the other 3 got a day each, then that's 2 projects, 6 days. And that leaves me lots of days for my other projects, and I've already said I'm not working on 2 of them, Kingdom of Books and Primitive Village. So somewhere in there's a head count I'll have to do to see where we fall on what actually gets 3 days and what doesn't. Excuse me while I throw that on the floor. I should mention this. This is Lori Holt's Farm Girl Vintage Quilt. I just hung it today. It hasn't been hung in quite some time, since before we moved. A delight to make. Back when the book first came out, I ordered, I don't know if they were fabric bundles specifically. I might say this wrong. I do not believe she had any lines of fabric or anything. And there were bundles of fabric that worked for this. I really don't know. I don't recall the part if they were what she used, and so the back quarter shop bundled them up. It's very possible. I don't know. But when the book first came out, she did a quilt along, and every week she featured 2 blocks. You had to have the book, so she's not like giving you measurements and stuff. And I made mine along with her. On her blog, she would post which two blocks were that week's, and I made them, and it was just a delight. It's just a delight. It's been in a quilt show. I think it came in second in a situation where I don't think there were any ribbons or anything given. A friend of mine worked at the quilt show and knew that it had come in second, which is fine because I didn't create it thinking it was going into a show. And the one that came in first is a friend of mine that we quilt together, sew together, travel together, do all the things, and it was a better product. It wasn't the same pattern. So anyway, there's the things. It's still trying to be winter here in upstate New York. It's still kind of COVID-y up here in upstate New York. So we're doing the things. We're doing what we're supposed to do, and most all of us are vaccinated. The last member of the family, or my circle of family, friends, gets their first vaccine this weekend. So that makes us all feel good and happy. And cool. So, and the wedding plans, I don't really have to do a lot of things. We'll start making some travel plans soon, and to reach our destination for this event. And my round robin is going to be out there starting its rounds, and I'll look forward to seeing what it is I get. I don't really know that I'll feature I will not show anybody else's piece. I think part of it is that you don't see it until it comes back to you. So I don't know. We haven't really set the parameters for show it on your Flosstube or don't. I won't be, and so I'll just mention that I'm working on it. And there you have it. I hope everybody has a good weekend coming up, and that spring is really, if you are in the United States here where it's trying to be spring, is really coming. I think we're certainly not the only region that's had some bad weather, and it's just spring weather. We need water. We need it to rain, or in this case, snow melting. It's mud season, no matter how you look at it. So anyway, take care. We'll see you. Bye.